Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. My friends, the worst is behind us. Maybe. I'm going to share with you perspective from a number of chart analysts in this very latest Moon Lambo hot jam. And you'll see there is broad consensus and agreement that yes, we could see prices move lower. Is that what's most probable, though? It depends on who you ask. But even if we do move to the downside, what I keep seeing over and over and over again is that likely the downside price action, should it occur, it'll be limited. And so on a higher time frame, the market structure is still intact. So the analysts that have been calling for a new all-time high are still saying, yeah, this is a normal pullback, it's healthy, we're going to be seeing a new all-time high in 2024. And so I think a lot of people are clearly getting caught up in what's happening in the short term, and it's just the same old story you see every single time there's a flush to the downside in terms of price action. A certain amount of people are just going to be losing their ever-loving minds because emotions and reason. That's pretty much it. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, XRP is now 51 cents. Bitcoin's at $40,183. You got the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 52 out of 100. So not in fear, but people no longer feeling greedy, feeling a little bit neutral. That's not surprising, though, right? Hell, if anything, I was concerned it might drop even lower than that. I mean, yesterday it was 48, but it's been a big drop. I mean, you're talking about Bitcoin just about a week ago hit $49,000 briefly, going down to $38,000. That's a fairly big move. You know, we've seen worse in crypto, but it's fairly big, resulting in headlines like the one on your screen here from the Crypto Basic. 4 factors behind current XRP market collapse. Folks, I'm not going to read the article here. I mean, I read it, but I'm not going to read it in this video. We don't need 4 factors to explain the current XRP market collapse, if you want to call it that. I'll give you one. Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin. XRP just followed what happened with Bitcoin, right? Here's a post this morning from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer. He wrote the following: after rising over 2,000% since its bottom, the NASDAQ is now less than 1% away from its 4.236 extension. Want me to change my views on Bitcoin? The market has to prove this isn't going to be a problem. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. You know, I look forward to the day, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but I look forward. I can imagine it, where I wake up, I hop on social media platform X, or I go to YouTube, and I see the Blockchain Backer is now confident that Bitcoin's going to hit a new all-time high. Because he is one of the very few analysts out there who I follow who thinks that that's not what's most probable here. And what scares me is his high accuracy. That's why I'm worried. He's too good at this. And so if he's saying, hey, nope, this is in all probability it, that's what worries me. Because he is one of the analysts out there that has an incredibly high hit rate and a high level of accuracy. So I hope that he flips his mind. That'll be a day to celebrate there. Now, most analysts do think we're going to get a new all-time high, but I'm telling you, sometimes minority viewpoints are correct. The Blockchain Backer, case in point. In last market cycle, when Bitcoin was pushing up against $70,000 just about, he was like, no, that's pretty much it. And he was getting mocked by all sorts of other rude analysts out there, calling them names, saying he's wrong and he's stupid and he just doesn't get it and it's not going to age well. But he was right and everybody else was wrong. So I'm hoping at some point he's going to flip, but we'll see. Then there's this from chart analyst Ali Martinez. Historical patterns show that in bull markets, price corrections for Bitcoin have consistently been followed by further upside gains. This suggests that dips might offer strategic buying opportunities for those looking to capitalize on Bitcoin's potential growth. And so he's got this chart going back to probably, his name's covering this, but probably about 2016. And you can see all of these major pullbacks, 40%, down 26%, another 40%, 35%, 33%, so on and so forth. And then you look up to where we are today in 2024, negative 21%. Again, I understand people feel like it's the end of the world when this happens, but if we're in a bull market, he's just making a point, and it's just data, it is true. If we're in a bull market, typically these drops, however precipitous, do result in further movements to the upside in terms of price action. And I will tell you that chart analyst Credible Crypto tends to think just that. He actually just published last night a roughly 25-minute video, and so I checked it out this morning. And so he wrote the following. All right, folks, Bitcoin video update is live. This one focuses exclusively on Bitcoin. We'll get to alts in another. If you're panicking right now, give this a watch. There's really no need to be fearful here, and if you react emotionally to recent price action, you will likely end up worse off. And so Credible Crypto, he said in this video that the current Bitcoin price action is completely normal and healthy given the massive move to the upside that we've seen in recent months. I mean, think about it. Bitcoin's price roughly doubled in just a few months. So he notes that the higher time frame structure is still intact despite Bitcoin dipping below, dipping lower into the 38,000s. And he is expecting another major move to the upside soon. Nothing has changed. All-time high still coming. He's firm on this. And he did say, technically we could see Bitcoin go as low as $34,000, but he doesn't think that is remotely probable, because when we're talking about future price action, it's not certainty. We're just talking in terms of what's likely to occur. And he also did say, yes, in the short term, we could see one more dip to the downside, but he thinks that anything in that direction would be rather limited. So this changes nothing. He just thinks that people are panicking for no good reason, basically, which is typically what happens in these situations, but it's going to be no big deal in the end. There's this perspective from chart analyst Dark Defender. The giga collapse won't come while all of you are expecting it to happen. The bull run first, and the collapse. When we all are in joy and euphoria, then the chasm of all time will time expected to arrive. But first, to the initial targets in crypto. Up the moods. Yeah, and I think that was a fair enough point there. And it would be kind of weird if this is it, and the euphoria, if you want to call it that, was at its peak with the ETF stuff. I mean, if you look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we were in extreme greed for just one day. Was that really it? And then we're just going to see a break to the downside? I don't know, maybe, but I kind of find that hard to believe. We'll see. Here's an XRP price chart, and chart analyst JD had the following to say. XRP may be creating hidden bullish divergence on weekly. Candle body close below red line would negate divergence. A wick down the orange box is very possible. Orange box been posted since November 2023. And so he is warning here, and I've seen this from a ton of XRP chart analysts recently. There is a possibility, if things go a certain way, where we're going to see 30-something cent XRP, perhaps as high as 28 cent XRP. But if that happens, it will be because of a further massive collapse of Bitcoin, I personally think. It's hard to imagine that XRP would just go rogue and on its own just go straight on down to the downside at 28, 30 cents if there's not broader market activity that's incredibly negative. So, XRP's been holding 50 cent range. We'll see what happens here. And then he says, my personal dollar cost average 28 to 33 cents. Heavily. Yeah, well, if you get that opportunity, that'll be a dream for those who are wishing to accumulate. People will be incredibly fearful if that happens, but it is what it is. I've seen far worse drops than that in my day. And then he says, don't time bottom. When dumb money complains during the fear, that's the signal to buy more. Exactly. That is how this works. And then there's this perspective from chart analyst Greg Crypto, and he shared this XRP price chart. And now he did repost something here, I'll note, from August 29th of last year. And it was it had to do with his analysis as to how XRP would ultimately get to $27. And he writes here, remember that post from August 29th, 2023? So XRP en route to $27. Our journey to $27 is still on. What's going on now? I get it. 90% of the XRP army is feeling the fatigue and frustration. But hold up. Take a look at the patterns in chart 1. It's a deja vu from 2017. We're dropping below the W pattern, finding support, and gearing up for a major pump. Recall that green dotted pattern from my August 29th post? Zoom in on chart 2. Yep, it's tracking the plan. The recent drop, totally part of the game plan. Don't get bogged down by daily or weekly moves. Some are missing the bigger picture. Yep, and that is in general what I continue to see here. People are flipping out. It doesn't actually make sense to flip out. We'll see who's right in the end. try to never say never when it comes to price action in crypto. But I still am optimistic that the best is yet ahead. So we'll find out what happens together here, but even if there is another push to the downside, again, Credible Crypto at least thinks it's going to be limited and then resume to the upside. And again, I'll just say it one more time. To me, it does sound weird if the height of euphoria is what we just experienced in, with the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. That would be kind of weird to me. Like, we didn't even have a whole bunch of new people on the retail side jump in, as evidenced by the fact that if you do a Google trend search and just search Bitcoin, there was barely a tick to the upside over the ETF news. So we haven't pulled in retail, unless you think that we're just not going to this market cycle. So we'll see, but I'm optimistic for a number of reasons that the best is yet ahead, and I will sit here waiting patiently, no matter what that means, however long it takes. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.